cold day today. Season's definitely turning. Got my winter wetsuit on. Heading out from Army Bay, light wind. Between 9 and 11 knots. So typically I wouldn't go out, but I want to try this light wind onshore setup. Feel like I've got my gear dialed and my style dialed, and I want to see what's available now in the light wind categories. So 10 to 11 onshore should be enough. The 1401 35 skinny silly advanced plus 75 high mod mast. I got the titanium axis screws today for weight savings, and I've got the PPC master board titanium screws on. So those are full titanium, so I'm really trying to keep a light system. The shorter mast is light, the shorter fuse is light, the smaller rear foil is light. The 1401 is not that light, but it's lighter than the 1300. I've got the 710 North Horizon board. I had this kind of set up wrong the other day for my long run, my back leg burned. So I want to try and get this dialed. So I've moved the mast forward. And yeah, the bumps look like it's going to be okay. Tiny, 2 foot max, but 2 foot should be enough to cruise it, but we'll see. Anyway, I'll keep pedaling out to get a bit more angle, and then go from Army to Stanmore. Woo! Okay, really haven't pedaled out very far here. Here we go, still paddling across the waves. I'm not going to pedal out far, I'm just going to see if I can cut. Yeah, whatever. See how it goes. Turn downwind a touch, obviously. Wait for a push and a runway, mainly a runway. Nice easy start. It's always amazing that I can foil after having a couple of days off. It's always such a surprise. It's such an unreal activity to be doing. Figure out my stance, just to feel the mast further forward. Feels good, just got to try and find that stance and balance. Now I'm going to go through my ABCs, like, how do you do this? So stance, feel the right pressure for me. Mast height, and I've got my new stall beta to use, so I need to incorporate that. Bumps are moving a touch faster than I am. Good sign, probably. Slightly annoying. I can work on riding faster if needed, which will be mast height, inertia, momentum. Losing some ground towards land, so I gotta work on a cut line, at least until I get past Tyndall's Reef. I didn't need to pedal out too far. And it's actually interesting being close to land as well. You've got a few reefs and refractions and a few other things. Mixing the energy up. So this is quite a new wind swell, so it hasn't really turned into a big ocean swell yet. And then my next game is just what lines do I take? What seems to be efficient? Is there a repeating theme? Is it instantaneous problem solving, or do I try and set my own line? Do I react to the water? You know, there's so many options depending on who you are and your water is and your setup is, and so many options. That's what keeps this game interesting, I think, for all of us. Beautiful sunlight on the water. Actually, the more I cut out, the better the swell's going to get too, so that's cool. Route reading error. Some new camera angles. Some of the butt. Get some butt shots for Dave. Turns out Dave was right about the silly short. He was telling me about the silly short a while back, and I told him it was a no-go for him for learning. Now I'm not sure. I still think learning it might be a bit severe, just through the excitement of getting on foil. But turns out Dave is probably always right. So let's aim for that. He was also right about the small rears back in the day. He was an early adopter of the 300 or 325, can't remember. Whatever the smallest one was on the market. And I wouldn't be surprised if Dave was the creator of the mast length specs that Dylan was talking about the other day. Start that rumour anyway. When are you coming out next, Dave? It's about time, mate. Get some downwinders done. You're on the train. There's a lot of energy there. You can see what happens when you chase a bump. Unneeded energy usage. fixated on a bit of energy and you kind of want it, and then you get close and you don't want to give up. Problem with a winter wetsuit is if you don't fall in the water, bloody cooked. You should be trying to surf harder, more risky, short fuse, short mast. Ride higher, do something. Try palm a few. So yeah, plenty of energy for this run, obviously. So that's good to know. It's only been blowing a couple of hours. But of course when there's unlimited fetch, a couple of hours builds up and it's not like a bay run. With short fetch. Bump in front, it's moving a bit quick. See what the 1401 can do. This is pretty cool, this is a good run. Like, I am pumping a bit, not too much, very sustainable. Right now I'm chasing a bump again. I'll cut hard right, let the bumps come on. Try and reattach to one somehow. It's actually pretty crossed up here, there's not much real estate. Pick up a few ticks of speed if you ride high. So often I'm actually pumping to try and get the mast tight and then still pumping to try and sort of push that speed downhill. I'm well wide of the reef now, so I can turn back left. Although my destination is still to the right, but it gives a few more options. The bumps aren't great to the left. Back right. which was probably a punch forward my front foot. We'll see. Stack this one to run downhill. You can kind of sit back and let a couple of build, and then if you're on the final one in the set, you can just sort of run down through them, turning a few micro bumps into a macro bump. Happening for you guys? Are you out buying silly shorts yet? Awaiting the release of the Psycho short? Should be. If you're using a big foil, you definitely want to be on the silly now. Confirmed. Bump. Get some free speed so I can just add a little bit to it every now and again. Woo! Sound like a wheel stand. Heart pumping. Cranking along. Be a bit more gentle on the legs. I think I need to ride a bit more relaxed. Just keep seeing these bumps forming in front and I want them. Trying to keep that momentum high. It's 11 knots onshore. Can't see any wingers out, nobody's bothering at 11 knots. But when it's onshore, this is enough bump for downwinding. So I'm having a great old time. 11 knots doesn't seem to be too spectacular, right? It's not a wind you probably need to wait a month for. Might get it a few times a week. As long as you got some pitch. Only taking a couple of hours to build. A couple of friends that are getting into it. I was able to get rid of some of my old gear. That would be perfect for somebody learning, so that's cool. I tried to explain to them how hard it is. Not sure if they understand yet. You know, they're telling me that they've watched the videos on how to do it. You know, instructional videos on how to pedal up, like you do a pump while you pedal and whatnot. It's like, yep, that's true. But putting everything into practice, I don't know, maybe they'll find it easy and I'll be proud of them. But I fear that it's not going to be that easy. But we'll see. I'm in two minds with how easy downwinding is. I'm not sure. Hopefully my videos are opening it up a little bit, the beta. Sharing the secrets. Giving the secrets to you for free. I'm just stoked to be out riding. So happy to share it, share the stoke. I'm going to try and make money off anyone. Unless you want to give me some money, then I'm not going to refuse it. Spend it on a 35 skinny and chop it down to a matchbox, which I'm going to do anyway. Okay, I haven't been doing much stalling, I guess because the bumps are moving quite quick. See if I can sit on something. It's not really the sort of energy for it, to be honest. I think it's more of a wind chop. Makes you trying to speed up to catch these. And they seem to be just running through under me anyway. loosen my stance back again. See how that goes. More weight under my front foot. I have to take my back foot off to pitch down. Okay, more of a pumping start. Forever, I don't think. Not with my stamina. Catch this big one. Definitely want past tide to give you that option of just creating your own downhill. You know, it's good for every other reason, but sometimes there could be just a slight uphill between you and the bump that you want. And if you have mast height, you can kind of just run through that uphill because your board will be above it. You know, your foil's below it. You can just kind of have an artificial bump that you're on just from the, it's like you've got a micro bump's worth of stored energy in your height. Now, slided through that one without a pump. Now all these bumps are less than a metre right now if you're wondering the size. It's not big conditions. You can see the occasional Y cap, it's probably 10 knots. Like occasional Y cap is like, when I look out to sea I can see about 10 Y caps in the whole expanse of the ocean. So it might even be 9.5 knots. Here. Allison's already here waiting for me. She's got me on tracker. You can track my location, sees which beach I'm going to. It's gone to Stanmore Bay North. Maybe we'll go back to Army. I may do another run. She might wing at Army.